The next type of element we're going to learn how to style is the table element, and we can see here that we have a table that consists of a table head that has several header columns, as well as a table body that has multiple rows and a few columns of data as well. And to style this table, we're going to go into our style.css file, and the first element that we're going to select is the table element itself. And the very first property we're going to style is the font family property again. Now, we could choose to style each table head and table data cell or group of cells individually, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that for my entire table, I want the font family to be Roboto. The next property that we're going to style is the width property. Now, tables are block elements, but mind you, it doesn't mean that they're automatically going to take up the entire row. What it means is that they're going to take up as much space as they need to within a row on our web page, but that no other elements are going to be adjacent to it on that row. And so by saying that we want the width to be 100%, our web page is actually going to span out our table to cover the entire width of our page. Now, the next properties we're going to style, I'm actually not going to explain. I'm going to leave for you to learn and play and discover on your own. But they're the border spacing property, which we set to a value of 0, and the border collapse property, which we set to a value of collapse. Moving on then, let's go ahead and style our T head element by setting the background color of it to a value of hex code EF. This is going to give it a light gray background. And then let's go ahead and add a border to our table head cells. And we skipped over talking about borders and how to style them when we did the box model, but here we're going to actually address it. In our table head elements, we're going to add a border to that's 1 pixel wide. That's what this stands for. It's solid as opposed to dashed or anything else, and it's colored black. And then finally, we're going to add a background color equivalent to our table head background for every even row within our table body. And so the effect of this is we're going to have kind of a striped table. And of course, the only thing we have left to do is see how this renders in our browser. And first we see that the default styling of our table is not very easy to distinguish between cells of data, but when we refresh, our style rules kick in, and we notice now that our styling of our table makes it much easier to see the individual cells of our data.